Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade, and we're starting our weekly webinar, mapping out your week ahead. A few things about myself. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been trading almost 25 years. I started in June of 2000 as a prop trader in New York City, and I did it for about 11 years. And after that, I moved to a less stressful environment, let's put it that way, and also started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy to have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, as usual, we speak about indices, stocks, commodities, FX, and going back to the title, the whole idea of this webinar is for us to create structure for the upcoming week. So we'll go through some fundamentals of the last week. We'll take a look at economic calendar and some highlights of what's happening on the markets. And then we'll move to the charts. We'll go through indices, stocks, commodities, and FX. We are in the earnings season, so we'll take a look at a few stocks that are reporting in the upcoming week. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media channels, please follow us on Telegram, X, and YouTube. As I usually say, it's my favorite. You have a lot of material being added on a daily basis. You have tutorials, you have educational materials, you have webinars. Some of you are watching this on YouTube. If you are, don't forget to click likes, only if you like it, of course, and share it with people that might be benefiting from this. Also, if you have any questions, comments, please type it in. And definitely subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified of new things coming in. So before we go to things that are new, now we had a short week. First of all, Friday was a good Friday. Most of the markets were closed. There was a short week. Nevertheless, a volatile one. We had a lot of things happening, and a lot of it is, of course, tariffs and Trump related. And it's all about US and China, as other tariffs were put on hold the previous week, as we know, for 90 days. So new developments are coming. It's, they call it now a tariff war between US and China. See how it ends up. Also, there were some changes. The tariffs were kind of lifted of phone components, the chip makers, and other things, which give a little bit of a boost of the market. But then they cut the quota of selling the chips to China and other things. So we'll take a look at the charts, how it affected the markets. Also, we had indices in general. We had a big drop on the Thursday before the weekend. A lot of it to do, especially in the Dow Jones. We had United Health dropped about 22%, which dragged the Dow Jones significantly down as well. So we had indices really finishing the week not so great. Okay, but still there's hope that will resolve the tariffs and a few things to look forward to. So here we go. One of the positive things on Barron's, stocks are seeking a bottom, expect better market weather in May. And they say here that one of the analysts writing, so this is from the article, I just took a snapshot. To reiterate the point I made back in March, the renowned market statistician Jason Gopfert of Sentiment Trader points out that this is very interesting in detail, so bear with me here. S&P 500 recently had 2 straight days with 90% of advancing stocks after hitting 6 months low. Whenever this has happened back, going back to 1933, the S&P has been higher 12 months later in almost every instance, with 100% accuracy in forecasting the market being higher 2 months later and 95% accuracy in being higher 3 months later. So basically what happened, it looks like we had the 2 straight sessions when 90% of S&P 500 stocks were actually positive. So he pulled out the statistics, said that there's 100% accuracy that the market will be higher 2 months later and 95 3 months later. And in almost every instance, we had a year later the market was higher. So it's very interesting. Let's see if it works. Now, we all heard that Trump and Powell, not such good friends. We heard a lot of rumors of facts that Trump is pushing Powell either to leave his position or to cut the rates and so on. So this article here says, President Trump's recent calls for termination of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell have reignited fears about the future of U.S. monetary policy and independence of central bank. But former Fed insiders and economists say concerns about Powell's imminent departure or institutional crisis are likely overblown. Instead, they suggest a more strategic political dynamic might be unfolding. Trump could keep Powell on to serve as a convenient scapegoat should the economy take a turn for the worse. Interesting, right? Trump has ramped up criticism of Powell in recent days, denouncing interest rate as too high and demanding cuts, even as inflation continues to exceed the Fed's 2% target. Meanwhile, the president's tariffs policies are expected to weigh on growth and increase inflationary pressure, placing even more scrutiny on central bank. It makes sense, all right? If the economy is going to go worse, so Trump can blame Powell that he didn't take any actions and so on. I guess we'll find out. In economic calendar, it's a little short. Again, important to say that a lot of markets are still closed on Monday for Easter Monday. And I'll show you the calendar in a moment. So this is the most important things for the upcoming week. So on Wednesday, we have PMI numbers from Europe and Germany, as well as we have global manufacturing PMI from US, and the governor of Bank of England speaking. That's on Wednesday. Thursday, we have CPI numbers from Japan, and then retail sales on Friday. This is much more important for me to explain, especially to new people. Economic calendar, it's a public information. You can find it on our web trader or the app. Also, you can just Google it. There's a lot of providers, the same source. And it's important to know certain things. You can choose whatever's relevant to your trading. What I do here, I take out only high impact events. Otherwise, it would take a lot of space, and not all of it is relevant. And the times here are GMT times. Okay, so this is the calendar for the holidays. We already passed the Good Friday, as you know, everything was closed. So U.S. market normal opening and normal trading on Monday. Europeans are closed. All these markets are closed. UK, Germany, France, Spain, Europe 50, Italy 40, Swiss, Netherlands, Japan market is open. Hong Kong closed. Australia closed. Dollar index, Canada open. We go to commodities, U.S. commodities. The trading on U.S. exchanges are all normal opening and normal trading. The only thing they have coffee, sugar, and cocoa a late opening. Bonds, Japanese bonds are open. European bonds are closed. Stocks, U.S. stocks and Canadian stocks normal, and Europeans and UK stocks are closed. So it's another full capacity session on Monday. And then Tuesday, of course, we go to normal. All right, and as a tradition, losers and gainers, we'll look at them individually when we get there. So in commodities, on the winning side, we have coffee up 9.5%, crude oil 8.5% higher, copper as well, palladium almost 7% higher, gasoline 6.6, silver 5.8, gold up 5.15, platinum 4.67. So you could see a lot of metals went up, and energy as well. On the negative side, natural gas up more than 8%, down more than 8%, sugar down 1.17, and Forex dollar continues to be weaker, and New Zealand dollar has been a champion here, 1.87% higher, British pound 1.58, Aussie 1.3% higher, and on the negative side, euro pound down 1.25 almost, and dollar yen down almost 8%. So these are the biggest losers and winners for the past week. We'll take a look at them individually. Okay, let's grab the chart, and we start with indices as usual. As China here, as you could see after the recent drop with the tariffs, slowly we're coming up here, which is last week broke above 200 moving average, and we had pretty much all green, a little bit green, but green days in the past week. We are between the 200 and the 50-day moving average here, looking good. Japanese index had a nice week there. Wednesday and what were the days here? Okay, so we had the 17 and 18, both days were up here on the Japanese index. US indices, again, it's all tariffs. We did have sliding week pretty much, and Friday we went a little bit higher into the green. Before the weekend, I guess there were some closing positions, didn't want to have positions open overnight. I'm just speculating here. So we had a positive Friday here, but for the week, we still had a down week for all the US indices. US tech, which is NASDAQ, almost flat, a little bit of a green. The opening was 18,400, and the close 18,426.75. So 26, almost 27 points, which is nothing for NASDAQ. Almost flat day. And as we said, the Dow Jones UK 30 was down a lot. And what's contributed the most to it is United Health. They came with bad earnings and bad projections for the whole year. We'll take a look what the stock looks like on the chart. So US indices down for the week. Here comes the Russell. Russell actually went up on Friday a little bit, but for the week actually was also positive. As we mentioned last week, it raised recently a year and a half of advance move. That's the small cap index. Germany, we had two consecutive green week after a huge drop in the previous week. Oh, of course, tariffs related. We are playing with the 100-day moving average here. Friday was a green day. Okay, also a nice recovery after the recent drop. We're still trading below 200 moving average. Let's take a look at French index. Nothing to be happy about. We are way below the 200 moving average here. So that's as far as indices. Again, we have a little weird week. The European markets are closed and some others on Monday, but US is open. So I guess for US, we will not have indication. Usually traders are looking at Europe and see how Europe is trading so they can kind of measure themselves for the US opening. So that's as far as indices. We'll take a look at the stocks. Let's start with those that significant. NVIDIA, as you know, we've been watching NVIDIA as an indicator, especially for the tech index NASDAQ. It had a strong week. This past week, we gave away about half of that move. You could see here we closed at 101.30, which is kind of encouraging, still above 100 psychological level. The previous week we went as low as 86.5 almost. So being above 100 shows hope there, right? So that's NVIDIA. And let's take a quick look at United Health. Take a look at this drop, 22% down after missed earnings, and really low guidance for the year. Some say that changes in the healthcare might help United Health. We'll see. But nevertheless, this is a huge drop. The stock has a lot of volatility, as you could see, if you remember the case when, unfortunately, the CEO was executed or killed on the streets of New York. The stock went down. Then we had a nice recovery almost to the point where the drop started, actually to the point closing the whole lows, and then in one day, take a look at this drop. Shocking, right? So that's the United Health. Now for this week, but before that, let's take a quick look what the big names are doing anyway. We have Google below all the averages. Also, we see here the 50-day moving average is below the 200, which is a dead cross situation, which some technicians are paying attention to. Google is reporting. So next week, you know what, let's take a look at the stocks that are reporting. So it's going to be a busy week. According to FactSet, we have 22% of S&P 500 stocks reporting this upcoming week, right? Among the major stocks is Tesla reporting on Tuesday. As you know, Tesla's been having issues, and I just read through the weekend that the cheaper model of Tesla might be delayed a little bit here. The same thing, we have 50 below the 200 happened this past week, also that cross situation here. So Tesla is reporting on Tuesday aftermarket on the 22nd. We have another one, Boeing, another controversial company with all the issues. And then they had the military contract they got from the government, so it was a nice rebound. Boeing is reporting on Wednesday. The stock closed 161.72, and Google is reporting on Thursday together with Intel. So this is Google. We closed at 151. Clearly, it's a downtrend here below all the moving averages, and we have 50-day below the 200, as we already said. Another one is Intel reporting also together with Google on Thursday, the 24th. Intel, as we know, had a lot of issues. Then we had a little bit of a bounce to the upside when the new CEO came. We had a bounce here with all the market here on the 9th, that famous day when the tariffs were put on hold for 90 days. And since then, we came back and we are trading below $19. And earnings are coming after the market on Thursday. This is a key level here. You could see we had a lot of actions here, a little bit below 1876, the level. Then we hit here, double bottom before jumping higher here. So we're back to square one here, around $19. So that's on Intel. Let's see how oil stocks are doing, as oil had a little bounce there. ExxonMobil, strong Thursday, right? Chevron, also green, but not as much. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft, dropping after that tariffs, positive news. Banks, very important. As we said, we have to watch banks. Let's see how they do. Take a look. Banks also, of course, jump with the whole market, and now we're on the way to possibly retest that level. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, the fighters, they look positive, trying to move higher here across the board with banking industry. Okay, so again, earnings. If we talk about stocks, the individual equities earnings are coming. 22% of S&P 500 stocks are reporting. That means it's more than 100, right, in the upcoming week. Among them, Tesla on Tuesday, Boeing on Wednesday, Google and Intel on Thursday, and much more. All right, moving to commodities, and we'll take a look at those winners and losers. We'll start with winners. Coffee had a nice week. We are approaching 50-day moving average after playing with the 100 moving average here. We've been making kind of a lower lows and lower highs, and we just broke the formation, coming up, breaking the previous support here. Let's see if that holds. What we can do is draw. Of course, like I said, on the chart, you can be very creative. You can draw the trend line, whatever fits you. That's the subjectivity of trend line. So if we connect the last two highs here, we might be retesting or testing the trend line to the upside, and it's very close to 50-day moving average. So coffee was, I think, the winners of commodities, almost 9.5% higher last week. Crude oil also had a nice bounce after this recent sell-off, huge sell-off here. We're still on the way to break that 65 on Thursday, right? I always want to say Friday, but remember the Friday we were closed. So on Thursday, we almost reached 65. The high was 64.85, 15 cents short of that 65 mark. So oil looks strong. Again, geopolitically, it's still not clear. The war, Russia-Ukraine continues. The things in the Middle East are not clear. A lot of this turmoil was with the announcement the U.S. was ready to bomb Iran because of the threat of a nuclear bomb being made. Now they just had negotiations on Saturday. Actually, there was a meeting of U.S. and Iranian officials in Rome, Italy, and they scheduled a next meeting. So I guess they're trying to solve things diplomatically. It's not my strength in diplomacy and politics, so I'm not gonna comment on that. Let's see what happens, right? So far, oil is bouncing very nicely from below $55 to almost $65. Nice recovery. Copper as well. Chinese index moved to the upside, also is pushing it higher or helping it to move higher. After a huge drop here from the recent highs, we're kind of halfway through. You know what? Let's take a quick look. Visually, it looks like we recover half of it. Let's take a quick look by using this great tool, Fibonacci. Yes, take a look. Exactly 50% recovery from the bottom. That means around here we might see some fights with the bears and bulls. Let's see what else. You could see it's already, we had this tails up and down with the body in the middle, kind of. So copper up 8.5%. Let's see how this week will play for copper. Metals in general strong. Another one is palladium. Also had a nice week. On the daily chart, the last 2 weeks, it was a little bit of profit taking, but prior to that, we had 2 positive days, strong positive days to the upside, and we are sitting on right on 100 moving average here. Gasoline also had a nice week after this recent drop. It's kind of mimicking oil, similar dynamics there. Up 6.67%, testing 100-day moving average here. Going back to metals, silver had a very nice week, up 5.81%, covering most of the recent drop here. We did go above 200, 100, and we are sitting right on 50-day moving average here on silver. It looks strong. Gold, of course, continues to be safe haven, as we said many, many times, together with yen and Swiss franc, up 5.15%. We had a very strong move Friday. Sorry, again, I say Friday. Thursday, last day of trading week, was a correction there, which was brought out and closing lower, but in the upper part of the previous day's move. We still closed the week at the all-time high, 3326.61. That's on gold. And another metal that was strong, higher by 4.67%, is platinum. Take a look. It's union here of all the moving averages here, right? 100, 250, with 50 being below 200. So technically it is our dead cross, which some technicians look into as sell signal. It was a drop and nice recovery here. So we did close at 976.1, up 4.67% for the week. So that's on the positive side. On the negative side, we had natural gas selling. We are hugging this 200 moving average here, which could mean that we came to a support, especially technically speaking here. We are approaching the previous support here around 315, from which we made a high. So we'll watch natural gas. We might see another slide to see the support, to test the support, or might even go lower, or the buyers could come in and start taking it higher. So natural gas, it's a good market to watch for the upcoming week. And sugar was down 1.17%. We are playing with the previous support, which we broke this week. We had a nice recovery on Wednesday from the next support lower here from January 21st. And Thursday was a flat day for sugar, right? So again, let me come back to the slide with those lows and highs. You'd like to take a screenshot. So these are the commodities that we'll be watching in the upcoming week after making significant gains and losses. Coffee, crude oil, copper, palladium, gasoline, silver, gold, platinum on the upside, natural gas and sugar on the downside finished that previous week. And FX, we'll take a look at the moment. NZD, pound dollar and Aussie dollar to the upside, and euro pound and dollar yen to the downside. Okay, well, let's return to the charts. We'll move to the FX and we'll go through those. Let's start with dollar index in general. Dollar has been super weak with all these tariffs. We had right here the dead cross, which is significant here, but who knows, the move has already happened, or we might continue lower. We did break the previous supports we spoke about last week, I think, and it looks like we kind of stabilizing here, maybe trying to find that floor or support around these levels, around 99. So that's the US dollar. Now let's take a look at the NZD and Aussie, as they were the biggest gainers. And I think China moved to the upside, helped it a lot together with weakness of the dollar. Take a look, a significant move to the upside. We had how many sessions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight session to the upside, breaking all the moving averages. And then Thursday, this is actually Friday, the FX was trading on Friday. So Friday, we had a little of a sell-off here. Of course, all the financial markets were closed, so it's hard to judge this move. If we continue lower, we might actually see the 200 moving average. But here, as you could see, current level is sitting right on the previous resistance here, which happened at the end of November of last year. So let's see if this level holds. Should we break and show some formation, some price action below this level, we might see move lower to retest the 200 moving average. So that's NZD. USD now, yen, dollar, similar story here, right? Even stronger, it didn't sell much on Friday. So this is a key level here, as you could see. We sold from this level here. We sold again mid-March, following with the lower lows. Nice recovery, and this level again, 0.6390. It looks like, again, that's approximate. If I tell you the number, just approximate level 0.6390. It's playing a resistance again here on Aussie dollar, right? So definitely we'll be watching this level on Monday, right? Euro pound sold for the week after being very strong for the 2 consecutive weeks right here, right? Clearly. Here we go, the nice move to the upside, and we are sliding normal profit taking. Let's see what's next. We are way above all moving averages here. Dollar yen, as we know, as we said, together with gold, Swiss franc, and Japanese yen are 2 other safe havens when the uncertainty comes and the risk of comes to the market, the sell-off, uncertainty. The investors are turning into safe haven, which is gold, yen, and Swiss franc classical scenario. All right, let's take a look at other majors. Dollar yen, of course, euro dollar is just the mirror image of dollar index. As you can see here, we're kind of stuck after a nice move to the upside. Pound dollar was very strong after lagging a little bit. This past week, we moved nicely to the upside. If we continue high, we might be retesting that level of September of last year. This was around 134.20s. USD CAD has been selling a lot, especially with the weakness of the dollar, and oil regaining the strength is affecting the Canadian dollar in a positive way. We had a big sell-off here the previous week, and this past week we continued, but we didn't close below the week before, which could be holding a support around there. So the low the previous week was 138.38, and the closing here was 138.39, almost to the pip, sitting right on the low of the previous week. On the daily chart as well, we can see here clearly that the sellers could be getting weaker, or maybe the buyers are getting stronger, or both. So we'll be watching USD CAD on 2 scenarios: that we break through this current recent support, or we bounce and try the higher levels here. Dollar Swiss is continue being weak, as we said, safe haven here. Also, that cross happened right here. So after significant move down, we are consolidating here. The question is which way we're going to move from here. If that consolidation takes longer, that means that we're collecting energy for continuation of the move down, or ready to bounce. As of now, with uncertainty, and the volume is growing here, I guess, we might see safe haven prevailing. If we get some good news and the market bounce, the dollar gets stronger, we might see actually after consolidation move to the upside. All right, that's as far as Forex. Let's take a quick look at the yen pairs. Aussie has been holding steady. Canadian, very choppy there. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. There was a nice correction to the downside. Green on Friday. Euro, a lot of choppy trades. When I say choppy, you see these tails, a lot of uncertainty. And a pound, similar situation. So yen is kind of stable here. NZD yen sold on Friday, breaking below 50-day moving average. We have this week the CPI numbers from Japan. As we said, we mentioned Japanese or Bank of Japan many times of possible actions on increasing interest rate, which potentially could increase the value of yen. Okay, and USD Turkish lira. If you remember this move to the upside, I want to show you how volatile could be the market, right? That what I think this was when the mayor of Istanbul was arrested, and a lot of issues started, and a lot of threats came up, and after that we came right back, and we are flat here on Turkish lira. Okay, and let's take a look at our usual dessert, which is Bitcoin and XRP. Take a look. something's happening. A lot of consolidation, a very tight range. Talking about $2,000, right? For Bitcoin. It's a very small range. We are between 82, almost 83, and 86, so about $2,000-3,000, sitting right on 50-day moving average here, right? Nice recover after double bottom here at the run. We briefly went below 75, significant psychological level, and we're sitting pretty much flat here. And XRP also had a nice trip below $2. We're reaching here on the 7th. We went to 160 and recovered and sitting right on a $2 mark, 204 currently. All right, so cryptocurrencies, let's see, maybe we see some good news, maybe see some bad news. It's very sensitive, of course, news. And in general, as we said, the trend went up significantly since Trump elections and then inauguration. And after that, we really cooled down in cryptos. Okay, so let's summarize what we spoke about. We had quite a week, which was short. The tariffs kind of on and off. Some good news, some bad news, some uncertainty. Gold all-time high, Swiss franc and yen gaining momentum as uncertainty prevails on the markets. At the same time, we had one of the analysts saying that we might be actually moving higher from here, as statistically after that 2 straight days with 90% advanced stocks, we might actually see that statistics keeping up. It could be. Also, we are in uncharted territories as well with all the changes in tariffs and reshuffling things. So see what happens. We have 22% of the S&P 500 stocks reporting. Among them is Tesla, Google, Boeing, Intel, and others. We have dollar after dropping significantly, trying to build the base here. As we said, gold is at all-time highs. It's going to be also a little weird week. For US markets, a full week without any interruptions, but a lot of European markets are closed as we went through that schedule. You know what? Let's take a quick look again. So US markets are open, normal. Some Europeans are closed. By the way, it's good if you follow this thing. You can go to avatrade.com, trading info, and then holiday schedule. And then you click on the link there and it gives you this information. I just made it a little bit easier for you with putting it on the presentation. All right. So that's it pretty much. Don't forget about the social media. Subscribe. Click likes if you like it, share it with people that might benefit, and enjoy the weekend. Prepare yourself for the week. If you're celebrating, happy Easter, happy holidays to all, and we should be back next week. Take care, all the best.